Hello, and welcome to what is practically Christmas in July for Mario Tennis Fever players. We have ourselves a brand new patch. After some insane amount of waiting, I think it was like we were closing in on 12 weeks there, like 4 months without an actual patch, which is scary, but for the time being, Camelot has pulled through for us. Camelot slash Nintendo slash whoever runs the show nowadays. So to get right into it, there are some good things. There is also the lack of some good things, if you catch my drift. Um, as is par for the course of these patches, they have done some things, but not enough. Not just balance-wise, but also just for the health and quality of life for the game. But we'll get into that as we get going here, looking at today's patch. Version 1.1.0 dropped on a Wednesday night, 7/15/2026. Time of recording. It's about to flip over to midnight. We're like 10 minutes away, as I have had to very quickly scramble and gather my thoughts on pretty much everything. So, also, my editor, I'm sure he'll be having a fun time editing. So send him some love and support in these trying times, as we are all getting caught up in the scramble, as it were. Let's get going with the patch notes. First things first, added game share and play via game chat. This is great for just being able to play the game with friends. This game needs way more ways to play with your friends. Still not included with this patch, doubles with a friend. You cannot queue up with a doubles partner to play doubles online, which is ridiculous. You have to solo queue. You still have to play just one player on the controller and hope you match into whoever. Game share, pretty big win. Lack of doubles, not a big win. Also added 2 new pieces of content. First up, the Fever Racket, the Black Hole Racket. Basically, you get pulled in whenever it spawns on the ground. I don't quite play Fever mode at a competitive top player level. I don't know the implications or how broken or not broken Black Hole Racket will be, but it looks cool. Seems neat. At least it doesn't quite seem broken anyways, since it doesn't really affect incoming balls. So like you can hit your tennis ball straight through the black hole, and that pretty much just like breaks physics. So maybe it's broken in that way, but who knows what those Mario tennis balls are made of. Nonetheless, added a new court, the Galaxy Court. This is a 2-speed 4 ball height or bounce height. Basically another kind of slower-ish court, but with an emphasis on bouncing. So a lot of your characters that will have high top spins like Piranha Plant, like Koopa, are probably going to like this court. Otherwise, for most other characters, it's probably going to be very similar to hard court, if not a little slower, because higher bounce typically means that the ball takes more time getting to its destination. To go along with the Galaxy Court, we also have the Galaxy Court match. I have not been able to play with Galaxy Court match rules, but it looks fun. I saw the trailer, it looks fun. Wonder was a grand old time. Galaxy Court match rules also look very fun. Added new colors for Luma. So now Luma has a whole cavalcade of colors to play with. There's red, there's blue, there's black, there's orange. I think there's a green in there. Very fun. I'm glad that they are still committed to making new costumes and whatnot. Same for Mario's classic outfit. They made it as a reward for collecting all 5 of the game's medals, which means playing the towers, like this, basically playing all the single player content to get the 5 medals, which I still haven't done. Shame on me. And then change the character specifications, change specifications of some characters. That is balance. We're about to get into that. So, character specifications, as they call them. Let's scroll on down. I'll just go ahead and make it easy for the editor. I'm sure he will zoom in on when it is appropriate. First up, Diddy Kong. Slightly increased the strength of shots. The ability to aim for the sidelines has been increased slightly, and fixed a bug where backhand star shots are weak. Expect to see that last one quite a bit. There are a few characters that just hit an extremely wimpy shot where they shouldn't have been. Off the top of my head, I know that Yoshi had a problem with it. Diddy Kong, I actually wasn't aware I had this problem, but hey, they got it fixed. Also, outside of that bug fix, Diddy Kong feels pretty nice. He's slowly getting there. There's still a few things that could help him go a long ways. I think he's still like one of the shorter characters in the game. So a lot of times, shots will just overhead him. But otherwise, he doesn't feel half bad when he is able to just hit the ball, which is a step in the right direction. Kamek increased the amount of spin on shots. So now Kamek has more mix up options. The only problem being is that Kamek really lacks the angles to put away points. So even if you do get the opponent to trip up sometimes, you are really reliant on that spin just going completely out of range and causing your opponent to whiff rather than getting like a finishing shot off of a high angle or something like that. So Kamek probably not going to be moving up too much in my estimation and from what I have played and played against. But hey, that's just par for the course for Kamek. Next up, Dry Bones. Increased movement speed while running. Increase the ability to aim for the sidelines, and the distance the ball can be hit back stably from has been increased slightly. That's my favorite word of the patch, stably. Just like last time, you're going to be seeing a few stablies out here. We got a whole stable of characters. Dry Bones overall seems to have been just improved across the board. I believe he is actually our first movement speed buff that any character has gotten in this game. And it's just like, it's not an acceleration buff. It's not like some sort of like, get to top speed faster. It's just a flat movement speed. This is how fast the character goes buff. So exciting times for Dry Bones. I have seen his drop actually like aim in some crazy spots. So that ability aim for the sidelines buff is also real. We will just have to see how he does in a meta where top spins are so prevalent and so fast that a lot of small characters like Dry Bones just kind of topple over into a pile of bones. But the range buff will probably be felt. The ability to just hit those wicked drop shots, nice. And then movement speed just completes the package for a character that seems to be more viable. Pauline and Bowser Jr. both got aiming upgrades, so now they can kind of hit more towards the sidelines. Pauline kind of needed it. Her flats are fast, they are devastating, but it doesn't matter if the opponent can stand still and catch everything. Pauline now has some more technical angles. The biggest beneficiary from what I played was the single tap flat, which seems to actually aim just away from the opponent instead of at the opponent, which is nice. Pauline as a character needed more options to score. Her defense is still kind of shaky just because she is thin, I guess, in terms of range. Like she doesn't have like a big boy arm. She just has like a little wimpy noodle arm. So you really got to know how to position with Pauline to make her work. But this is going to go and help her at least trip the opponent up, which she was a little unable to do so before. Same for Bowser Jr., another small character. Bowser Jr. was like kind of on the decline already. I know there was a lot of hype, and I even hyped him up first day, first impressions, but he's fallen off for me. I think with this ability to aim buff, Junior should be getting those top spins across more frequently. So you love to see it. I myself, as a tricky lover, love to see any and all just buffs for trickies. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, but no boo buffs. I know, everyone's sad that there's no boo buffs, but Us boos need something, dang it. At least in this game. Anyways, Baby Peach and Piranha Plant both got range increases, both got the Stably. They'll be able to, more frequently at least, catch stuff, which as slow technicals is probably the thing they need the most. Piranha Plant is already a very contentious character amongst the community, and in some formats, like our GDS series, has proven to be quite a menace. And on the verge of being oppressive, if it weren't for the fact that there's another character that turned out to be more oppressive, but I digress. Piranha Plant, in the right circumstances, was able to really show what it could do, and now with these range increases, can do that even more stably, as it were. Baby Peach, on the other hand, I don't foresee kind of moving up in the world. Even with the range increase, Baby Peach is still slow. One of the slowest characters in the game is still small and doesn't really have power, which is kind of something she is needing at the moment. Yoshi and Nabbit fixed a bug where backhand star shots are weak. So just like Diddy Kong, we are just fixing a few of these speedy characters and their issues with hitting star shots. So Yoshi was a backhand bug, Nabbit a forehand bug. So interesting that it's all speedies up to this point. And Nabbit increased strength of backhand shots. Nabbit no longer loses the game off of hitting a backhand shot. Pre-patch, you just aim towards Nabbit's backhand. There is nothing Nabbit can do to just give you the world's freest layup. Now, post-patch, Nabbit can hit a weak shot from the backhand, and it doesn't immediately sink him, which is exactly what Nabbit needed. He can defend well. He's a speedy character. He's got wicked forehand shots. It's all undone from how weak those backhand shots, and now that they're buffed, and when they say strength, they do mean strength. Those backhand shots can still sometimes, if he gets enough charge, they are, I'm not going to say devastating, but they're formidable in their own right. So you love to see it. Nabbit, I think, might be one of the bigger winners of the patch. Along with our next one, which is Dry Bowser, increased strength of forehand shots. Same as Nabbit, you could just hit to Drowser's forehand in the same way you could hit to Nabbit's backhand, and there's not much he can do. Now you can't really do that as much, because the Drowser forehand shots are faster, which means he gets to keep tempo, so he can keep slamming top spins. He can even slam slices as one of the few characters that can consistently do slices in neutral. That will be quite scary. The only big thing that would be holding him back if he does not go up the tier list is just the lack of movement speed. Because Drowser is a slow lad and does not get to where he needs to be sometimes. Otherwise, Dry Bowser might just be shooting up the list as yet another big character that might be holding some of the other characters down. But we'll have to see. Luigi and Baby Luigi, an increase in vertical reach. Basically, not much to say here. It's exactly as advertised. Luigi and Baby Luigi now hit those high shots, like from top spins and lobs, much better. And in doing so, it means that they have more power on their volleys, which their volleys are already pretty killer. So pretty good thought out buff for Luigi and Baby Luigi. They are two volley characters through and through, and this helps with their volleying in a way that doesn't like push them over the edge, which is nice. Next up, Toad fixed a bug where racket effects are displayed incorrectly. Because of this, the distance the ball can be hit back stably from has been increased slightly. So, visual bug from the looks of it, and then they were like, well, let's just make it match the visuals. So, Toad gets a happenstance buff from the sounds of it. So, good for Toad. He did need a little bit of a range buff, but again, I don't see this really pushing the needle, pushing the dial, however you want to say it, in Toad's favor. because he does suffer from a lack of power in some areas. All right, and then we got three, count them, three nerfs. First up, Rosalina, who ate the most dirt this patch. Made it so you start running a little later when moving. This basically refers to her acceleration. She now starts off slower. And by slow, I mean like, it's like trying to run with like ankle weights on. It's almost like Daisy for like half a second, and then she returns to normal speed. So in situations where you're getting like cross-courted, or you're just trying to get in position to hit the ball, this can start to make a difference. I think Rosalina, just from this nerf alone, might plummet down the ranks of viability, but we've got even more. Decrease the ability to aim for the sidelines, so now Rosa can't quite take her tricky curves and angles and hit around the opponent. It is now harder for her to do that. And they didn't even word it as like a slight decrease. This is decrease the ability to aim for the sidelines. A lot of these, they'll just say slightly, but take note of the fact that this is not a slight decrease. And it does feel pretty bad. I played Rosa in a practice match against a fellow pro. Did not feel great. And then last but not least, made it so drop shots bounce more easily and travel further. This is our first drop shot specific nerf on Rosalina of all characters. So basically now whenever she hits an uncharged drop shot, the second bounce is actually going to pop up a little bit, which is weird to see. I think that was a little unnecessary, but my only real guess is that they wanted to stop all the Rosalinas from just doing lob drop, even though I think there's plenty of counterplay already. All right. Donkey Kong made it so you start running a little later when moving. Basically a slap on the wrist for everyone's favorite gorilla. Actually, maybe it's a little more than just a slap on the wrist. The acceleration nerf is pretty real, but as to whether or not it affects Donkey Kong's ability to just kind of park center court anyways, once he gets in position, it is tough to just make him move because he has range, he has angles to make you move instead. It gets a little dicey. Donkey Kong likely still going to be powerful, but there is a world in which Bowser might be better. In fact, speaking of which, Bowser's not even not even on this this patch, as it were. Seems like Bowser's been paying somebody to to keep himself from getting targeted. And well, there might just be a world where Bowser's now better than Donkey Kong. Last but not least, Blooper. The ability to aim for the sidelines has been decreased slightly. If you've ever played against Blooper, you'll know just how devastating his slices are. They are not as devastating as before. He still has the sort of towering slices that he can sometimes hit off of a high shot like a lob. You still have to watch out for those, but just in the neutral game, you're now a little more safe to kind of play up into the Blooper as it's going for slices and topspins because it is a little harder for Blooper to aim them. So Blooper takes a pretty big hit in neutral because of this sideline change. Still excellent defense. Can still sidewind you with big slices, but we're going to have to see how much this impacts Blooper. And that is it for the character changes and balances. They didn't hit as many characters as I thought they would. Seems like the goal of this patch was to just buff a lot of the lower cast, the ones that don't see any play. Of noted absence, there is no Wiggler, who I still think is easily top 5, maybe top 3 now, along with Bowser and Boom Boom. Boom Boom, another one that didn't get hit in the slightest, but I think Boom Boom might be a bit of an unknown entity outside of the hardcore community that plays the game. Other characters like Mario, who's been on the rise, Baby Mario, both absent, both very good. Birdo seems to be a bit of a measuring stick for balance. She has a clear goal in mind, and I don't think she was really doing anything too egregious anyways, so she's probably a good goalpost for the balance team to have. She has clear weaknesses, clear strengths. Daisy, another one that doesn't get any buffs or nerfs. Seems to be exactly where they want her. Surprisingly, Peach, not on this list. I think she's one of the worst characters in the game. Wario, no changes. Chain Chomp, no changes. All pretty bad characters, in my opinion. So, yeah, I guess we'll have to see if they continue just like buffing these bad characters up to a playable state, or if they really do have like some sort of plan to make them, or to just bring character balance, closer to a balanced state. There's still going to be the same entourage of heavies and bigs like Donkey Kong, Bowser, Wiggler, Boom Boom, that are pretty much going to be oppressing the rest of the class. Oppressing the rest of the roster, I should say. I don't think this is going to move the needle too much in terms of knocking top characters off their thrones. If anything, Rosalina and Donkey Kong might move down slightly. Rosalina, the one of the two to fall from grace into the mid tiers. So Rosa mains are on some sort of watch, I'm sure. Of note, there are also some other things that weren't really changed. Like there's sometimes the lunge shot that will kind of just place itself at the back of the court and no character can get to, and you lose the point because it's impossible to retrieve. That's still in the game. And a few other things which maybe they could look into. I think they need to nerf slides and they need to nerf top spins. Slides are too good at just shutting down everything that isn't a top spin, and top spin is too good at shutting down anything else. So I think the real shakeup will be once they decide how they want to kind of just shake the core fundamental gameplay up rather than these character changes. But for right now, the character changes look good. On paper, anyways. We'll have to see where each character lands, but I'm excited to see more Nabbit. I'm excited to see more Dry Bowser. And I think even the Luigis will get some play, maybe. If it's not too late, I should say. If this patch isn't too late and there are still, people that want to play the game. Nonetheless, that's neither here nor there. Let's get on to the Fever Racket changes. I don't play this mode, so I'm just kind of going to be listing them out. Mini Mushroom Racket made it so the effect of being shrunken goes away when a point is scored. After the fall from grace that Golden Dash Racket had, seemed like Mini Mushroom Racket shot up the viability rank. So in order to change it, or to nerf it, the duration gets nerfed whenever a point is scored. So I think that's probably a good change. I think the mushrooms will still be down on the field, but it's at least going to be easier to get back into a game when you're not mini-size the entirety of it. Ice Flower Racket. Shorten the amount of time you are stopped for when you touch an ice ball, and decrease the number of ice balls that appear from 5 to 4. So straight nerfs for the Ice Flower Racket. Seems like it was quite annoying to just get frozen in place. Practically a free point from the sounds of it. Star Racket. While its effect is active, the racket now gets rid of mini mushrooms from the Mini Mushroom Racket. Star Racket ate a nerf last patch. Now it gets a slight buff in the form of a racket matchup, which means Mini Mushroom Racket takes another hit. Bullet Bill Racket increased the ability to aim for the sidelines. This racket is hilarious, but it didn't seem very good because you couldn't really do anything with it of note. You just kind of hit it to your opponent and they just got free charges and whatnot. Freezing Racket. The conditions for the racket's effect disappearing were either 15 seconds passing or 10 rallies. This has now been changed. So there is no rally condition, and it only disappears when 15 seconds pass. So basically getting rid of one of the ways that Freezing Racket can get knocked off the field. And it sounds like it stays around for a lot longer. Same for the Amp Racket. I don't know if this is a buff or nerf. I assume 12 seconds is shorter than 20 rallies. So maybe just a hard nerf to it. I do know a lot of these effect durations are way too long. It's like one of the main complaints people had with the game, with Fever Mode in particular. Metal Racket, when its effect is active, you now move slower. Your movement speed will now be the same as when your HP is low. If your HP is already low while the effect is active, your movement speed will not decrease. So another hit to the Metal Racket. You now move slower, which is a really bad nerf for the Metal Racket. You get a lot more shot power, but now there's an active trade-off in that you are slower. For someone like Donkey Kong or Bowser, that it won't matter. But if you're a smaller character, I don't think Metal Racket is the racket for you. While its effect is active, the racket now gets rid of mini mushrooms from the mini mushroom racket. Same thing as the star racket, mini mushroom gets some counterplay to it. And then question mark block racket, black hole shots have been added as a possible effect of its fever shots. Pretty straightforward. All right. Changes to shot behavior. Adjusted the star point detection to make it easier to execute star shots. This is a very good quality of life change. A lot of players, very justifiably, have exercised their concerns, to put it lightly, over when they are blatantly standing on a star shot and the star shot still doesn't happen. So after playing a few games, it feels like the star shot is now a lot more smooth. Like you will get your star shot, you will get like kind of sucked into where the game wants you to be for the star shot, and you'll hit your star shot. So very nice quality of life change. I have, however, noticed that sometimes you will get a star shot when you don't intend to get a star shot. It is now a little harder to kind of maneuver around the star shot if you just want to hit a normal flat. So you'll have to watch out for that. Other changes. In addition to the new Galaxy Court, you can now select Academy Courts. This is good for competitive. We may need to reassess just what sort of courts are allowed because these court parameters do change the way that a game is played. Most notably, on these Academy Courts, it's a lot harder to retrieve a lob because the lob goes out of the playable area sooner compared to the stadium courts where you can absolutely run back and as far as you can to make sure that second bounce doesn't happen. You can now select random on the racket selection screen. If you select continue when the match ends, you can compete with a different racket each match. Again, a very nice quality of life upgrade. Add in an option to disable pressing the A and B button simultaneously to hit a flat shot. Very nice change. A lot of people just mash the Y button. This will be a big advantage to people that may just be trying to switch shots from a top spin to a slice or something like that and accidentally get a flat. Super nice change. I kind of wish that they would do more controller options, but we'll take what we can get. Adjusted how modes are randomly selected for search all modes in ranked matches, in 4 ranked matches. I think that's a typo, unless it's like 12 a.m. at this point, so 12:20. Either I'm reading it wrong or somebody typoed it. Added Galaxy Court as a ranked match court and adjusted the order courts appear in. I believe we had mapped out just exactly what the court schedule was. If they have completely shifted all of it, we'll have to do it again. Made it so when you're playing the Racket Factory Match special game, if you don't have a FV gauge bar fill when picking up a fever racket, your FV gauge will fill up to 1 bar. Pretty nice quality of life for casual play. And then several other adjustments and fixes have been made to improve the gameplay experience. Don't you just love it when they tell you that and then provide nothing else? Really good context. And there you have it. Our patch 1.1, as it were. Lots of things coming through. You saw some good quality of life. A lot of the weaker characters can now compete a little better, though the characters at the top of the mountain are still at the top of the mountain and will likely continue to stay there. There is still going to be that gap of the best characters in the game compared to just good characters. So, alrighty, I've rambled on enough. Hopefully I didn't ramble your ear off, and if you liked what you heard, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I have Mario Tennis Fever content and other video game essays on the channel, and it would be quite lovely if that channel were to continue to grow. I like doing this. I like making all the content I make. All I really need is the continued motivation, and it's all in your hands. All right. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.